What's up, everybody? It's Yoko of Yokogaming. I'm back after 30 years of not making a video. These last couple weeks have been crazy with COVID, daycare shutting down, job changes, shift changes, stock market crashing, Dogecoin to the moon, Super Bowl. Everything's been crazy, but nothing is going to be as important or as crazy as what I can tell you in this video. Now, in between this time, I've had a couple minutes here and there to go back and look at some of the content that I've created in the past. And one of the best, craziest videos I made was the mouse and keyboard versus controller video, which is actually a really trash video. So you should check it out. But it sparked great controversy, especially in the comments section. And I wanted to give it some actual love and attention and actually make a legit serious video on why you should be using mouse and keyboard over a controller for any game. So let's get into it. All right, so we're going to be using Warzone as our baseline game here just for now, just for this video, because it seems, popular. Everyone's pretty aware of it, but we can talk about just about any type of competitive game. And the first thing we're going to talk about, the big pro of the mouse and keyboard that I'm sure everyone talks about, is the aim and the accuracy. So is a mouse and keyboard more accurate than a controller? Well, I think yes, but I think that's a wrong way to frame the question. I think the question is, do you personally have the potential to be more accurate on a mouse and keyboard? And the answer is still yes. All right, there's deeper customizations from the mouse and the keyboard itself, the in-game settings. The recoil seems to be a lot more manageable, just going off of Warzone as an example, than it is on a controller. I found that out the hard way here recently, again, anecdotally. But everything else, the con of it, my stance remains the same. Okay, up close engagements, I think the controller still has the advantage. Long range to mid range, I think the mouse and keyboard is going to have the advantage. It's just so easy to make very small adjustments on things. You don't have to worry about aim assist getting in your way. Now, speaking of aim assist, there is a con to using the mouse and keyboard, and that is if you're having a really bad day, there's nothing there to help you. There's absolutely no safety net. So you have infinite chance for rewards and infinite chance for losses, whereas the keyboard or the controller is a little bit more balanced, where if you're having an off day, and by off I mean like missing your shots by a little bit, not whiffing the barn, the aim assist can maybe kind of correct it and help you out and reduce the fall, or a little bit of safety net there. All right, now this next one no one covers. I don't know why. I've researched at least 20-25 videos this far, and no one has covered it. I don't know if it's because the data is not very transparent, because they don't know or they don't care, or they want to argue stuff like a controller is better because it's more comfortable. No one cares about that. A gamer will break his back for the $5,000 Warzone tournament if it means he can be 2 milliseconds faster than his opponent. No one cares. Those videos aren't meant for anyone except 12-year-olds that like clickbait titles. So what I'm talking about is response time. Now, like I said, the data on it is not real transparent on the controller side. But to give you an example of my mouse and keyboard, my SteelSeries Apex Pro is like a 0.7, 0.8, maybe even a 0.9. If I have greasy Cheeto fingers on response time. Now, we're going to weigh that against a Scuff controller because they're pretty popular. They say that they're averaging a 1 millisecond response time. So, okay, a little bit faster, but that's not the catch. The catch is that those aren't really the true values for the controllers. I've looked into a lot of the controllers, a lot of the polling rates. They're not even close. All right, a lot of them are standardly set at 250 hertz, 500 hertz, and then you have to find a way to overclock it to 1000 hertz to 1 millisecond. So a lot of them are actually at like 3, 4, 5, 6 millisecond response time. Plug that into a USB and then plug that into your PC. That's going to be monstrous if you're in Warzone. You're talking like 5 millisecond difference at 144 frames or 150 frames. The mouse and keyboard is just going to blow it out of the water. Now, there is a catch here, and that is the mouse and keyboard is definitely going to be a little bit more expensive. I mean, you're talking like 180 to 190, maybe even $200 for a really good keyboard. And that's not even counting the mouse that's going to come with it. Or you could probably customize a good Scuff controller for like 170, 180, and that'd just be everything you need. Whereas you're going to be spending, 200 here and then maybe even 100 for a mouse if you're crazy. So it will be a little bit more expensive, but it definitely pays dividends in the end. All right, I don't know why no one talks about this next one. It's gonna piss off a lot of computer players, but it's RGB, baby. I don't know why no one ever talks about it. The flashing lights, being able to customize the colors. You can set up the different colors to match a specific song, a specific beat. You can even do it like if you're streaming on Twitch. You can do it for things that happen on Twitch, alerts, things in chat, things on the actual game. You can set it up to flash different colors. Red, for example, if you get shot in Warzone, everything will light up differently. it's a more immersive experience in that regard. Now, you're probably not going to have like rumble as an example, right? You won't have vibration, but you are going to have these beautiful colors that you just can't find on a controller. Now, you can do dynamic skins on some controllers. I've had some. They're pretty, but they're stagnant, right? They're not dynamic, and you can't just change them without peeling things and ripping things, where this RGB lighting changes within literally a click of a button, and it's endless in the customizations. Now, most of the time, RGB can slow you down in terms of response rates and everything, but hey, who cares about that if you're sacrificing a little bit of response time if everything looks magical? But the actual con of this is probably the electricity bill, right? More RGB, more lights, more power draw, more watts. It's just going to cost you a little bit more money in electricity versus using, you know, your PS4. It may be negligible. You might actually not tell the difference, but because I do mining and everything, and I'm really like on top of my electricity, I can tell you, yeah, you're going to be using a little bit more. All right, moving right along, we have communication. All right, being able to use your mouse and keyboard in game and being able to just type in chat, like in the in-game chat, is huge, because back in the day, I played Sony. I used a PlayStation controller, and it would take, especially like Modern Warfare 2, you'd go to send a message to your friend, or God forbid they send one, and you hit the PS button to try to send a message, and you're locked in place for like 55 seconds, right? Like, and then by then you're dead or something happens. So it's a lot easier to just be able to hit enter, type what you want to say, or ban, or kick, or whatever, and then just, you know, go on with your day. You don't really have to worry about anything like that. Now, you're also able to, because you're on your computer and you're using your mouse and keyboard, more than likely, you're able to just open up whatever window you want, right? It's easy to just alt tab out of something or just pull up something really quick where you're not having to put down your controller. Now that seems like, you know, I'm nitpicking, but it's a minor inconvenience if you're actually talking about flow of movement. Stream is a lot easier to manage, right? Because everything, your hands are right on everything. It's easier to ban people. It's just freedom in the communication department. I tried to pick a con for this, and I guess mistyping a word maybe would be a con, or I don't know, maybe getting carried away because it's easier to type and maybe you say something you regret. But I grew up in the Modern Warfare 2 days, so I don't regret saying anything about anybody. All right, and the final category is the umbrella category. And this is where I tell you to go yourself and give you all the just bunch of stuff and under in one, right? And you just get to pick from it and take it. All right, so the first one is the big PP energy. Anyone who sees anybody on a mouse and keyboard, if they're a controller player, immediately gets just absolutely shaky and scared, it seems like, because, oh man, there could be Shroud on the under end of that thing, like everyone's a mini Shroud. It's not true, but, you know, people think that. Then you have being able to adjust what any key will do. Now, I know you can remap your controller, right? Like I play Southpaw or anything, button jumper. But you can even play claw, which looks pretty painful. But it seems like you're using your hand in a very unnatural way, whereas you can spread eagle your hand over a mouse and keyboard, and you can adjust what the keys do via in the game or even on the computer itself, and just make everything a lot easier to use. You can also map buttons to the side of your mouse, which a CSGO player will tell you don't do. It's a no-no, but, you know, it's there for comfort, so what's a little bit of lag there? Customization is deep, and your room will look a lot more aesthetically pleasing, because more often than not, you're going to be running RGB off of your computer unless you're a weirdo or, you know, you're at work, and then you're going to have it on your keyboard unless you're a poor boy. So everything's going to be looking a lot shinier, a lot prettier. It looks better than a dull airplane engine, you know, because the PS4 is you know, the room just looks better, less dust, smells better. It's better. I don't know why this one is true, but the resale value seems to be much, much higher for mouse and keyboards, really good ones, than it does SCUF controllers. I don't know why. It just seems to be that way. Maybe it's because the mouse and keyboards last longer in terms of actual use. I've heard really bad things about controllers being blown up like after a year. So, you know, I'm biased, but maybe. Who cares? Shut up. This is my video. Now, there is a con in that you can misclick, but, you know, it's very hard to misclick a button on a controller. I would say, if you're pretty experienced, it's very easy to do it, even if you're a professional on a mouse and keyboard, especially if you're playing like where the actuation point's like really low, like a 1 or something. You know, everything's very touchy. It takes literally a hair to move a key, so that could be a con. But the real fact of the matter is that there is zero cons for mouse and keyboard. PC Master Race is coming, and you need to get on the train or you're going to be left in the dust. I'm Yoko, this is your captain speaking, and we are preparing to land, so if you'd please leave a like, subscribe, and give me some type of comment down below. You guys know I love these, and I will see you in the next video or in 8 weeks. Whichever one comes first, guys. Alright, I love y'all. Peace. He can't drive.
go!